Hello YouTubers, this is Tim at JL Miniatures. The last video I did was definitely in the wrong direction, so I decided to take and redo it again. This right here is another one of the Chaos Trolls from Mierce Minis, and I'm going to use basically the same colors I did before on the other one, and I'm just going to get started. Now with these, I'm just, like I said, I'm just literally going to go through. I'm going to put in color here and there. I've got browns, I've got tans, I've got greens, I've got purples, I've got a blue. So I'm just going to kind of splotch the colors in to kind of give me an idea of where I might like to go with it. And you'll see me just kind of pushing and kind of blending them all in. I'm not looking for a specific color right now. It's just trying to get over the color of the green primer. This again is the primer that I'm using. It is a brush on primer for me, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a great primer. It works really well. It's easy to cover up, and I really like that about the primer. And it's not so dark that I can't just use a regular color and worry about is it going to cover, or do I have to do multiple passes with it and all that kind of stuff. So this is something that I can definitely use and not feel like I can't just cover up what I want, how I want. You can see me, like I said, I'm just dabbing on different colors right here. It kind of just blends it in by itself if you're just using a big brush like me. And it does look pretty intense right now, but it does darken up quite a bit. I'll take and show you the other mini I did in that first video, and in a few minutes here, and you'll definitely see the difference as far as that goes. Now I'm going to grab some off-white with that purple, and I'm going to take and do the tentacles. I'm going to take and kind of blend everything in. Now the tentacles could be darker by the time I'm done. They could be lighter. I don't really know. This is just to get some color on the miniature, and so I can see it as a whole piece. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of work in some more of that lighter off-white. And you can see that there's browns and all sorts of stuff there. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to take and paint and push that color around a little bit on the palette here on this miniature. See me grabbing some more. Now I'm just kind of feathering it in place. I'm not really too particular. I'm not worried about not really staying in the lines, but you know what I mean. I just want something kind of different and something where it's got some color changing. You can see like a purple, and it's really light. You'll see like a pinkish color. You'll see more of a blues, you know, and that's something that just gives it something a little bit more interest when you're painting a miniature like this. Same thing with these two small ones here. Now these miniatures here, like I said, I'm just going to paint them on the quicker side, you know, do like a 10-minute basing, and then I'll get into the more detail part of the painting. On the big miniatures, I like to do this because then that gives me a little bit more freedom with the colors, and it kind of gives me some ideas as I'm working through stuff in my head, you know, how I want it to look, or, you know, is this the right color scheme for this miniature? And that's one thing I think about quite a bit when I'm doing this, is I want it to be, you know, unique, and but I want it to where it also fits what I'm doing. So you see I went from a blue to like almost an off blue / purple, and something that's going to be fine as far as what I'm doing. Just mix a little bit of the off-white, and I just keep going with it. These tentacles are kind of just all over the place and just kind of flailing, so it's kind of interesting to see the direction they're going. Now you can see I'm putting some of that blue on the underside just to kind of bring it out a little bit more. Might use some of that green. Never hurts to use some different colors, that's for sure. And the whole thing is, once you start blending it all back in, sorry about that, in the camera. The whole thing is, when you start using the blues and the greens and stuff like that, everything will start blending back in and it'll look pretty good. You can see that there's kind of a real big stair step right there. But the whole thing is, if you take and just kind of dab it or pounce it a little bit, that'll just help to kind of blend everything in. That way you don't have it to where it's really, you know, striped out and really seem disembodied with the rest of the miniature. You know, I really like to keep things going and having it flow. So right now I'm just going to try to dab it right underneath the in the crotch area there. Trying to fill in a couple more spots where I see just the primer green, which I'm not really a big fan of the seeing primer, so I'll grab some more color here. This is just more green, that's all I'm going to do. Do some more blues down below. And you can see that I've kind of just changed out the color just by, you know, going through the miniature and what I've had to use. As you can tell, my purple's gone, my dark brown's gone, you know, which is, it's not a big deal. Like I said, this is just to kind of give me an idea of where we can go. And it's no way a final painted miniature. But I do like to have, like I said, I do like to have the miniature, at least the primer covered up, and then kind of go from there. But you can see that some of it, you can still see some of the primer. That's not a big deal. Like I said, I'll just take and work some other colors in to push some color around. With the tongue and stuff like that, you know, we can go with that typical red. We can mix some blue green, getting like a nice purple tone still with a little bit of reddish tint, and we can use that. I'm just going to take and get underneath it and just keep working that. Make sure I've got all the primer. Roll the paintbrush underneath. Got to get right between the legs there and get all that. So basically, now I've got the miniature. There you go. It's all in tune now. You can see I got the miniature pretty much covered up. It's about 8.5 minutes. It's not too bad at all. That's not, and I can definitely deal with that from here on out. And if I decide I want to change colors, I can totally change colors. Now, this right here with it wet, you can definitely see, oh, sorry about that again. You can definitely see, you know, the color wise, when the paint's done and dried, it does get quite dark. And that's the whole thing. You know, you're not worried about it being so bright, because those blues will definitely get a little bit darker. And, you know, so there you go. That gives you a side-by-side. Again, this is Tim at JL Miniatures. I'm going to take and work on one more to get it all finished up so I can have all three in the same kind of spot. And then I'm going to go from there and do another video. So again, thank you very much for watching. Please share and like. Have a great day.